There are four things that if you get them right, everything else falls into place. Four. Not 40, not 400, four. Your mind, your mood, your money, and your mission. Master those four, and I promise you the rest of your life will take care of itself. This isn't complicated. This is simple. But simple doesn't mean easy. And here's what most people don't understand about the simple things. They're simple to do, and they're simple not to do. The difference between a rich life and a poor life, between a life filled with purpose and a life of wandering, comes down to how well you manage these four areas. Not your zip code, not your luck, not your background. These four things: your mind, your mood, your money, and your mission. Let me take you through each one. Pay attention. Jot this down. Part one. Your mind. Here's what I want you to understand about the mind. You are not born with the mind you have today. You built it. You constructed it. You fed it. Every single day, you have a choice about what you allow into your thinking. That's the first principle I want you to lock in. Your mind is a garden, and like any garden, what you cultivate is what you harvest. Most people don't think about this. They let their mind just run wild like a yard nobody tends to. The grass grows up, the weeds multiply, the fence falls down, and then they wonder why their life looks like a neglected property. But if you decided tomorrow, right now, that you're going to take charge of what goes into your mind, everything changes. Think about what you consume daily. Not just food. I'm talking about your mental diet. What are you reading? What are you listening to? What conversations are you having? What are you watching? Because here's the thing about the mind. It's like a computer. Garbage in, garbage out. And if you're feeding it television, gossip, complaints, and negativity, that's what it's going to produce. Mediocre thoughts, fearful thoughts, thoughts of limitation. But if you feed it differently, if you read books, if you listen to ideas, if you have conversations with people who are going somewhere, if you study, if you reflect, if you learn, then your mind becomes like a garden bursting with fruit. That's a good one. I learned this lesson hard. Years ago, when I was barely making ends meet, I was listening to everyone around me, the doomsayers, the people with limitations tattooed across their faces. I was consuming what they were selling: defeat, doubt, desperation. And my results reflected that perfectly. I was broke because my mind was broke. Not because I didn't have opportunity. I had the same opportunities you have. I walked past the same telephone poles, but my mind wasn't prepared to see the opportunity. Then everything changed when I decided I would become disciplined about my mental diet. I started reading, not newspapers, not magazines. I'm talking about books that would stretch me. I started asking questions instead of accepting the limitations people were describing. I started surrounding myself with people who thought bigger, and my mind began to grow. And when my mind grew, my results grew. Because here's the key: what you think about, you become. That's not just a saying, that's a law. You don't become what you think about occasionally. You become what you think about most of the time. If you think about poverty most of the time, you become poor. If you think about problems most of the time, you become a problem person. But if you think about solutions most of the time, you become a solution person. If you think about growth, you become a growing person. The mind is powerful beyond measure, but only when it's disciplined, only when it's trained. Only when you decide, really decide, that you're going to be selective about what you allow in. Here's what I want you to do. Tonight, make a list. Write down what you're consuming mentally every single day. The books, the people, the conversations, the media. Look at that list and ask yourself, is this the diet of a millionaire, or is this the diet of someone struggling? Because I can tell you right now, if you want a wealthy life, a purposeful life, an excellent life, you cannot have the mental diet of someone who's settling. It doesn't work that way. The mind is your starting point. Get this right, and the foundation is solid. But you also have to understand this. Your mind doesn't run by itself. It runs alongside something else. Something equally powerful. Something that most people never learn to manage. Part 2, your mood. Now we come to something delicate, something that trips up most people. Your mood, your emotional state, your feelings. Here's the difficult truth. Your feelings are liars. They're not truth tellers. Feelings are like the weather. They change. They blow in. They blow out. And if you make decisions based on how you feel in that moment, you're building your life on shifting sand. That's the foundation most people use. And then they wonder why their life keeps crumbling. Most people let their feelings run their life. They wake up, they feel tired, so they don't work on their goals. They feel discouraged, so they quit. They feel afraid, so they don't take action. They feel sad, so they make poor choices. Feelings, feelings, feelings. And their life becomes a ping pong ball bouncing around based on what they're feeling at any given moment. But here's what separates the excellent people from the average people. The excellent people feel the same things you do: the fear, the doubt, the frustration, the discouragement. But they don't let those feelings make their decisions. They've learned emotional discipline. Let me give you an example. It's early morning. You've got a full day ahead. You could spend the morning on what matters, on your business, on your health, on learning, or you could waste it. You don't feel like it. That's the honest truth. Your feelings are saying no. Your body wants the couch. Your mind wants to delay. What do? The mediocre person feels it and gives in to the feeling. They tell themselves they'll do it tomorrow, and they don't. Tomorrow comes and the feeling is still there. A week passes. A month passes. The goal is still sitting there, untouched. The excellent person feels the exact same lack of enthusiasm, but they've made a higher decision. They've decided that their results matter more than their feelings. They've decided that their dreams are worth the discomfort of discipline. So they move, they take action, and something miraculous happens. Action changes feeling. Once you get going, the feeling follows. You don't feel like exercising until you start, then the energy builds. You don't feel like calling prospects until you dial the first number, then momentum kicks in. This is emotional discipline. This is the difference maker. Now, I want to be careful here. I'm not saying ignore your emotions. Emotions are information. If you feel angry, that's telling you something. If you feel sad, that's telling you something. If you feel anxious, that's telling you something. Listen to the message, but don't let the weather system dictate your direction. Here's the mental shift. You are not your mood. You are not your feelings. You are the observer of your feelings. You can watch them come and go like clouds passing through the sky. 1 minute there's a dark cloud. You feel disappointed. Then a breeze comes and it moves past. You feel hopeful again. Are you any different? No. The cloud changed. You didn't. This is profound when you really get it, because it means you have more control than you think. You can't always control what you feel, but you can control how you respond to what you feel. You can choose your attitude. I've seen people go through devastating circumstances and come out stronger. And I've seen people go through minor inconveniences and fall apart. What's the difference? Attitude. The decision of how they're going to respond. That's a choice. And you make that choice every single day. Not once, every single day. When you wake up, you choose grateful or ungrateful, hopeful or hopeless. I'm going to make the best of this day, or this day is just another day. That choice matters more than your paycheck. It matters more than your education. It matters more than where you started. Let me tell you something about mood that's important. Your mood affects your actions. Your actions affect your results. Your results shape your life. So if you let your moods dictate your actions, you're letting your feelings design your future. And that's a dangerous game. The discipline of mood is this. Decide in advance how you're going to respond. Don't wait until the feeling hits. Decide now. right now. That when discouragement comes, and it will come, you're not going to quit. Decide that when fear shows up, you're not going to hide. Decide that when doubt knocks on the door, you're going to acknowledge it and move forward anyway. This is the power of pre-decision. You've already decided before the emotion shows up. This is how you become the master of your mood instead of its servant. Part 3, your money. Now we get to something that makes people uncomfortable. Money. Let's talk about it straight. Money is not evil. Money is not the root of all evil. That's a misunderstanding. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. Money itself is neutral. It's a tool. It's a form of exchange. It's a reflection of value. And poor people and rich people use money. But rich people understand something about money that poor people don't. Here's the fundamental difference. Poor people work for money. Rich people make money work for them. That's not a small distinction. That's everything. Most people have what I call the poverty mindset around money. They think money comes from a job. You trade your hours for dollars. A certain number of hours buys you a certain amount of money. And so they're always trading, always exchanging their time, and they hit a ceiling. You can't work more than 24 hours a day. You can only work more than 5 days a week so much before you burn out. So they hit a ceiling and they never go beyond it. But someone with financial understanding doesn't think that way. They think about leverage, they think about systems, they think about how to create value that can be sold multiple times. They think about ownership, about building something, about making their money work. Let me give you the first principle of financial independence. You must pay yourself first. Not last, first, not with what's left over, with the first portion. Here's what most people do. They earn money, they pay everyone else, they pay the government, they pay the bank, they pay the creditors, and then if there's anything left, they keep it. Usually there's nothing left. And that's why they never build wealth. But if you reverse it, if you decide that the first 10% of what you earn goes to you, to your future, to your wealth, to your dreams, then something magical begins to happen. That money starts working for you. It compounds, it grows, it builds. I learned this from a man named Mr. Schoaf. I was young, hungry, and lost. I knew I wanted something different, but I didn't know how. Mr. Schoaf took me under his wing. He wasn't wealthy yet, but he understood something about money that changed everything. He told me, Jim, the reason most people are poor is not because they don't earn enough, it's because they don't keep enough. That hit me. Keep enough. Not earn enough, keep enough. Because you can earn $100,000 and still end up broke if you don't keep anything. You can earn $50,000 and build wealth if you keep enough. So he taught me this practice. Pay yourself first, and not with the money you can save. With the money you must save. It becomes sacred. It becomes non-negotiable. It becomes the foundation. Now, here's the next principle. Understand the difference between profit and wages. Wages are what you get paid for your work. Profit is what remains after all the costs. A person who works a job gets wages. A person who builds something gets wages and profit. And profit is where wealth comes from. Profit is what compounds. Profit is what builds empires. This is why so many people plateau. They're always at the wages level. They're good at trading their time. They're excellent employees, but they're not building anything. They're not creating anything. They're not capturing profit. The shift to financial freedom happens when you start thinking about how to create value that's not tied to your time. This could be a business. This could be real estate. This could be intellectual property. This could be investments. But it has to be something where you're capturing profit, not just wages. Most people think becoming rich means earning more money. More job, higher position, better paycheck. But that's a trap. Because when you're relying on a paycheck, you're vulnerable. You're at the mercy of someone else's decision. They can let you go. They can reduce your hours. They can cut your salary. you have no control. But when you have multiple streams of income, when you've built something, when you have assets working for you, you have power, you have security, you have real freedom. Here's what I want you to understand about money and freedom. Financial independence is not about being lazy. It's not about never working again. It's about having the power to choose. If you want to work, you work. But you work because you choose to, not because you must. That's the difference. That's freedom. And freedom is the point. Money is just the tool to get there. But you have to understand money. You have to understand how it works. You have to make it your business to learn. Most people spend more time planning their vacation than they spend planning their financial future. They can tell you every detail about the 2 weeks they're taking off, but they can't tell you their financial goals for the next 10 years. That's backwards. That's why they don't have money. Here's what you need to do. Become a student of money. Learn how it works. Read about it. Study it. Ask questions. How do rich people think? How do they make decisions? How do they view money differently than poor people? And then this is critical. Start applying those principles in your own life. Small at first, but consistently. The richest place in the world is not the oil fields. It's not the gold mines. It's the graveyard. Because in the graveyard are buried all the ideas that never got started, all the dreams that never got pursued, all the potential that never got unleashed. Don't add your financial potential to that graveyard. Start now. Start small, start simple. But start, pay yourself first, build profit, think like an owner, learn the principles, apply them, let your money work for you. This is how financial independence happens, not through luck, not through an inheritance, but through understanding and discipline. Part 4, your mission. Finally, we come to the most important of the 4. Your mission, your purpose, your reason. You see, you can master your mind. You can develop emotional discipline. You can build financial independence. But if you don't have a mission, if you don't have a reason bigger than yourself, all of it is just achievement for achievement's sake. And that's empty. Here's the thing about purpose. It pulls you. It doesn't push you. People think motivation's about willpower and grinding and pushing yourself, but real motivation comes from pull. It comes from a mission that's so compelling, so important, that you're pulled toward it even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you fail. Most people don't have a mission. They have a job. They wake up, they go to work, they come home, they watch television, they go to bed, then they do it again for 40 years, and then they retire, and then they die. That's not a life, that's an existence. But some people have a mission. They have a reason, something they're building toward, something they want to create, something they want to change, and that mission transforms everything. Let me give you an example. I knew a man who worked in retail. He could have just shown up, done his job, collected his paycheck, but he had a mission. His mission was to teach young people how to sell. He saw potential in people nobody else saw, and he used his job as a platform. He mentored, he trained, he developed people. And because of his mission, his results were extraordinary, not because he wanted a bigger paycheck, but because he had a reason bigger than the paycheck. This is the pull. This is what changes everything. Here's what I want you to understand about mission. It comes from within. It's not something someone gives you. It's not something you inherit. It's something you discover. Or you create, you design. And here's the key question. What pulls you? What makes you come alive? What problem in the world bothers you? What gap do you see that you could help fill? What would you do even if nobody paid you for it? Not fame, not money. What would you do? Because it matters. That's your mission starting place. Now, let me be honest with you. Not everyone knows their mission right away. Some people take years to figure it out. Some people discover it through trial and error. Some people stumble into it. That's okay. But here's what's not okay. to go through your entire life never asking the question, to live 80 years and never really think about why you're here, what you're meant to do, what you could give. The world doesn't need more drifters. The world doesn't need more people just going through the motions. The world needs people with purpose, people who know what they stand for, people who are building towards something. Let me ask you something. If you knew you were going to live another 50 years, what would you want to create? What would you want to become? What would you want to contribute? Because you might live another 50 years. You don't know, so why not live as if you do? This is the dignity of design. This is the power of intentional living. You don't have to accept the default life. You don't have to follow the script everyone else followed. You can design your life. Here's what I learned from experience. The life that just happens is rarely the life you want. The life that happens on purpose, the life you design, is the one worth living. When I was working at Sears, barely making enough to survive, I didn't just accept that as my future. I asked, what do I want my life to look like? Not someday. What, specifically? I designed it, I wrote it down, I could see it, and that vision, that mission pulled me forward. It gave me reason to study. It gave me reason to change. It gave me reason to persist when things got hard. And things did get hard. I failed more than once. I lost money. I made mistakes. But I had a mission. I had a reason. And that reason was bigger than my failures. So I didn't quit. This is what mission does. It gives you resilience. It gives you bounce back power. It gives you the ability to get knocked down and get back up. Because you're not fighting for yourself alone. You're fighting for something bigger. Now, here's the thing about mission that most people miss. It's not selfish to have a mission. It's the opposite. The greatest missions are the ones that serve others, the ones that create value for people beyond yourself. Think about the people you admire, the people who've made a difference. Do you admire them because they were self-centered? No. You admire them because they had a mission bigger than themselves. They saw a need and they answered it. They saw a gap and they filled it. They saw people struggling and they helped. This is what creates significance. Not the size of your bank account, not the title on your business card, but the difference you make, the lives you touch, the value you create. Here's what I want you to do. This week, I want you to sit down and really think about this. Quiet moment, honest moment. Ask yourself, what is my mission? Not what should it be, not what would impress people. What is it? What pulls me? And if you don't know yet, that's okay, but ask the question. Start the search, because here's the truth. Your life is too important to leave to chance. Your time is too valuable to waste on things that don't matter. You deserve a mission, you deserve a reason, you deserve to know what you're building toward, bringing it all together. So here we are, 4 things. Your mind, your mood, your money, and your mission. Master your mind, and you control your thoughts. You become what you think about. You shape your future through the quality of your mental diet. Master your mood, and you control your actions. You don't let feelings dictate your direction. You choose your attitude. You choose your response. You become the master of your emotions instead of their servant. Master your money, and you gain freedom. You're no longer enslaved to a paycheck. You build wealth. You create multiple streams of income. You make money work for you instead of working for money. Master your mission, and you find meaning. You know why you're here. You know what you're building toward. You wake up with purpose. You go to bed knowing you're moving towards something that matters. Get these 4 things right and watch what happens. Your relationships improve because you're showing up better. Your health improves because you have energy and motivation. Your career improves because you're thinking bigger. Your finances improve because you understand the principles. Your peace improves because you know your direction. Here's the key. These 4 things don't operate separately. They work together. Your mission pulls you forward. That pull requires emotional discipline. The emotional discipline comes from a trained mind. And the trained mind, working in harmony with disciplined emotions toward a mission you're passionate about, creates the foundation for financial success. It all connects. It all works together. Master all four, and you don't just change your circumstances, you change your life. And here's what I want you to remember. You already have the capacity for all of this. You already have the mind to learn. You already have the emotions to discipline. You already have the ability to build wealth. You already have the potential for purpose. It's all in there. It's just waiting for you to decide. So decide right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Decide that you're going to take control of your mind, that you're going to manage your emotions, that you're going to build financial independence, that you're going to live with purpose. The rest of your life begins right here. This decision, this moment. Will you accept it? Will you step into it? Will you master these four things? I believe you will, because you're here, you're listening, you're thinking about this. That means there's something in you that wants more, that wants better, that wants significant, and that something, honor it, nurture it, act on it. Master your mind, master your mood, master your money, master your mission. And I promise you, the rest of your life will take care of itself.